Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2023 or Pokemon Horizons the series anime episode review. This time I am talking about episode 11. So let's get to it. The episode begins with Liko confronting Dot regarding the Needle Thing costume she saw 2 episodes ago. Believing that Liko has figured out her secret, Dot is ready to reveal her identity. However, it turns out that Liko did not figure out anything. She just thinks that Dot is a Needle Thing superfan, to the point that she even has her own costume. Something that Liko is impressed by and something she commends. Liko concludes that Dot does not give her the time of day because she is not as big of a fan. Dot is incredibly amazed and perplexed by the conclusions Liko has reached and the fact that she has not realized the truth. Meanwhile, Mollie speaks with her family on the phone. They want her to come back home, but she refuses. Orla soon walks in, correctly guessing what Mollie just went through, revealing that this is a common thing that has happened before. Turns out that Mollie's family, especially her mother, are worried about her. Unreasonably so, in Mollie's opinion. She then sees an article about the forest that Liko and Roy will visit to follow up on the information Brassius gave them. The forest clearly burned down, so Mollie decides to go with them. The episode then cuts to said forest, which is indeed in cinders. Surprisingly, Liko, Mollie, and Roy were brought here by Nemona. I did not expect to see her again so soon. This made me very happy, though sadly, this happiness was short-lived, since Nemona leaves right away after being thanked for serving as guide. But before she does, she reveals that there was a wildfire recently, which is what left the forest in this state. She adds that a part of the forest remains intact, however. She also says that she and Roy should battle if they see each other again. Liko, Mollie, and Roy soon begin their investigation. They are saddened by the state the forest is in, and the fact that there are no Pokemon, since they fled from the fire. However, they soon take comfort in the fact that rain should bring the forest back, and with it, the Pokemon. They then reach the part of the forest that is still standing, just as Nemona said. Roy soon splits up from the group to scout ahead. While Liko is worried about him getting lost, they agree to meet up at a giant and peculiar looking tree should this happen. Back at the airship, Freed worries over the fact that he still cannot reach Liko's mother, and he wonders if he should keep trying to reach her. Meanwhile, Murdoch worries about the fact that Liko and Roy have not texted him back, answering his question of what they want for dinner. The two of them soon get into a discussion about how parents cannot help but worry about their children when they don't hear back from them. A conversation that Orla wishes Mollie could hear. Back at the forest, Liko and Mollie sit down to admire the scenery and the Pokemon. Mollie soon wonders about Liko's parents and what they do. Liko says that her father makes picture books while her mother is a school teacher. Mollie wants to know which one Liko takes after. Liko says that she does not take after either of them, but that it would be easier if she did, since they have a clear idea of what and who they want to be, while she does not. Mollie reassures her by saying that at such a young age, it would be weirder to already have your future planned out. She then reveals that, like Liko, she also had no idea what she wanted to do. The only difference is that she had her path selected for her, since she comes from a long line of Pokemon doctors. Therefore, she became one as well. Liko says that this is amazing. However, Mollie does not agree, saying that while the work was rewarding and she liked Pokemon, she was not thinking about what she wanted to do. So in the end, she quit, though she does not reveal why when Liko wonders about it, saying that she will reveal the reason another time. Mollie then commends Liko for being able to choose her own path and for getting permission to pursue it from her father. While Liko is hesitant to accept the compliment, Mollie forces her to. Sprigatito soon calls out to them since it found some orange berries. Since they can be used to heal Pokemon, Mollie instructs Liko to gather some. Sprigatito spots some more orange berries and it runs towards them, with Liko following suit. After gathering a bunch of orange berries, Liko realizes that she is lost. While she panics at first, she soon recalls that she is supposed to go to the big tree if she gets lost. Meanwhile, Roy gets to said tree, which is clearly a giant Arboliva. Roy decides to climb it in order to get the lay of the land. Once he gets near the top, he spots, surprisingly, an ancient Pokeball just like the one he has. However, the tree begins to shake. Liko spots this swaying from a distance, and she decides to double time it to the tree. Mollie soon gets tired of waiting for Liko and Roy to return. Since waiting around does not suit her, she heads towards their meeting spot, the giant tree. As Liko makes her way there, she walks through a burned part of the forest, and she soon finds a Paldean Wooper who is severely dehydrated. While Liko pours some water over it, she is unable to help it recover. A Cacnea, a Shroomish, and a Hoppip suddenly appear. Since they are violent and they appear to be ganging up on Wooper, Liko and the Sprigatito attack them. However, the trio of Pokemon manages to run off with Wooper. Liko and the Sprigatito follow them all the way to the giant Arboliva. Here, Liko realizes that the Pokemon are actually trying to protect Wooper. Liko tries to reason with them, saying that she just wants to help, but the Pokemon refuse to listen. Mollie soon arrives and she is adamant about helping Wooper. While the Pokemon still resist, she firmly tells them to stay out of her way, which finally makes them stand down. As she tends to Wooper, Mollie reveals why she quit the Pokemon Center. She realized that not every Pokemon ends up there. Some Pokemon, namely wild Pokemon, might be out there somewhere hurting. And she could not bear that thought, especially since waiting around does not suit her. Cacnea and the others soon wake Arboliva up, revealing that they still don't trust Mollie and Liko. When Arboliva wakes up, it swats away Roy and Fuecoco, who are still holding on to it. Roy points out that Arboliva has an ancient Pokeball. He and Liko soon realize that the Oliva Brassius mentioned is the giant Pokemon before them. Clearly, the ancient Pokeball it has is what reacted to Rayquaza. Arboliva soon attacks with oil, forcing Liko and Roy to run around in a panic. They soon find some reprieve when they hide behind some bushes where a few Mollies who would be caught in the crossfire are hiding. However, they are soon forced out of hiding by Arboliva. Liko and Roy tell Mollie that they should run, but she refuses, since she is tending to Wooper. So Liko and Roy decide to face Arboliva together in order to buy time. Roy confidently takes charge, since Fuecoco has the advantage over grass-type Pokemon. But Liko stops him, saying that they could start another fire. Liko has Sprigatito use Quick Attack to run around Arboliva, thus drawing its attention. But since Sprigatito won't be able to keep this up for long, Roy, recalling what he learned from Brassius, has Fuecoco use Stomping Tantrum, which makes Arboliva stumble, allowing Sprigatito to close the gap with Quick Attack and use Leaf Age to envelop Arboliva. Fuecoco then uses Stomping Tantrum again, which brings Arboliva to its knees. However, Arboliva soon falls all the way down, almost crushing Fuecoco in the process. Thankfully, Sprigatito saves it. While it seems like they won and the crisis was averted, Arboliva stands back up and it is clearly furious. Just as things seem dire, Wooper steps up to reason with Arboliva, clearly telling it that these humans mean no harm. Mollie follows up by expressing that she is also worried about Wooper. This finally gets Arboliva to calm down, and it clearly chooses to trust and believe in Mollie. All the wild Pokemon and Arboliva happily welcome back their injured friend, which delights Mollie. Arboliva then picks up Liko and Roy in order to give them a good look of the forest. The episode ends with Liko and Roy realizing just how badly damaged the forest is. So, that's the short but detailed summary of the episode. Now it's time to highlight, analyze, and comment on my favorite moments and or moments that are noteworthy / interesting. There are really only two things I can praise about this episode. The first is that we got to learn more about Mollie. All the members of the Rising Bolt Tacklers are quite enigmatic. We know very little about them, so it's nice to finally get some backstory for at least one of them. Hopefully we will get to learn more about all of them in the future. I have to say though that they could have revealed more about Mollie's past. Her family and her experience as a Pokemon doctor were mentioned, but we did not get to see these. There was no flashback, so they definitely could have gone deeper with her backstory. And it's disappointing that they didn't. The second thing I can praise is Arboliva. I am definitely very interested in it. Why is it so big? Why does it have another ancient Pokeball? Was it inside said Pokeball, meaning that it's like Rayquaza, a special Pokemon that belonged to the ancient adventurer? Or is it just guarding the Pokeball? Perhaps the ancient adventurer left it in its care. Why was Arboliva sleeping like it was sealed until the other Pokemon called out to it? There are just so many questions that I can't help but be extremely curious about the whole thing. Which is good. It keeps me interested and invested in the series. I am definitely eager to learn more, and I seriously hope that the next episode will provide some answers. Additionally, I guess that I can also praise the battle against Arboliva. Sure, it wasn't anything amazing, but it was nice to see Liko and Roy take on such a tough opponent while making good use of the newest weapons in their arsenal, showing that they have indeed grown stronger. Also, I love that we got to see Nemona again so soon. I hope to see a lot more of her in the future. But those are my thoughts on and analysis of the episode. Now it's time to bring this review to a close by going over my overall opinion of the episode. So overall, this episode was good. Getting to learn more about Mollie, getting to see Nemona again, adding to the ever-growing mystery of the series, and giving us some solid action, all contributed into making this a worthwhile episode, the one that is, like most of the ones before it, nothing spectacular. But that's the review and the video. So, as always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.